Have you ever felt that data migration is overlooked? Despite it being one of the most critical components of any project, few people aim for real mastery here. I'll share a personal story from my past about how it gets ignored. A global client kept contractual payment dates in one system while running their billing in Dynamics 365. As a result, they missed some payments. Fixing the data migration was worth thousands, maybe even millions of dollars for them. We kicked off a discovery call titled Data Migration. There were vaguely probably 12 items on the agenda, and guess how many were about migration? 1. The rest were focused on shiny features and how billing would work. So, why is it important? Poor data migration is the leading cause of bad data, and bad data, as we know, is the number one reason your Dynamics 365 adoption might fail. Features, skills, team members, even AI cannot save you if your end user doesn't trust you or doesn't trust the data. In the next few minutes, I walk you through what really matters in data migration, the mistakes we've all seen and how to avoid them, and the tools that can actually make your life easier. So, let's kick off the basics you can't skip. Terminology. First one, always use source and target. Say them often, write them in your plan, and keep them front and center. For example, assume your source is SAP and your target is Dynamics. Be careful the moment you hear, while we migrate, can you push data back to SAP just to keep things in sync? Did you notice your source SAP also become your target? And you're no longer talking about a migration, it is a two-way integration now. Scope will go up and deadlines will slip. Remember, migration is one way, even if you deliver in batches. The second important term is ETL, which stands for extract, transform, and load. At the extract stage, you decide what really deserves a seat on the lifeboat. Pull what the business needs today. For example, you may have 10 years of contacts, but only the last 3 years are active. Extract only those. Another idea for you, drop records that fail simple checks, like emails without domains, phone numbers with letters, postcodes that don't exist. We have all seen it. That's where you stop mixing germs and gems. Don't pull old bad data just because we'll clean it later. Transform. This is your passport control. Let's say you have to split full names into first and last, or convert currencies. Maybe in your legacy app, customer data was in one big table. And for Dynamics, you need to split it in 3. Spend your main effort here, not during the last phase, which is load. The loading should be simple and fast. Take the transformed data and just inject it. If you find yourself adding new clever rules while loading, you're doing transform in the wrong place. You may be like a doctor, deciding the medicine while giving the injection. That makes any patient panic. Now that we've nailed the terminology, here's the next key. Treat your migration as a product release. I will explain what I mean in 4 key points here. Number 1, give yourself time for quality checks. Don't push millions of records overnight and hope it will look fine by breakfast. If you find a bad address map after go live, you're correcting not historical but live data. Give users time to touch real records and tell you, yes, this is my customer. The billing address is right. The invoices add up. Number 2, test every ETL stage. For example, after extract, how many contacts have no email address? And after transform, how many status fields map to unknown? After load, how many missing parent account links? Keep it light and visible. Number 3, statistical sampling. You cannot check every single line migrated. Pull 40 to 100 random records per table. Review them end to end, and you will get 95% confidence. It is like tasting a spoon of soup before you're serving the pot. And finally, roll back and go no-go planning. Have a plan if something slips through. Can you fix it by simply reloading your source data? Or, if it's too late, go live with a simple script to fix it in the target. Decide before you press go. Next, let's talk about 3 key mistakes with data migration. Most teams are over-fixated on tools. In larger migration, about 80% of your time goes into mapping and design. This is where quality is made. So the tool I want you to care the most about is Excel, with data mapping spreadsheet, your single source of truth. Treat this spreadsheet as the contract between business side of your data migration and tech. It usually has 3 parts: a list of your source tables and fields, your transformation rules, and your target schema. It's like knitting pretty much, where every line is carefully threaded from source to target. You'd be surprised how many debates a single field can trigger, but this is how you guarantee a smooth job downstream. If you only adopt one tool, adopt this spreadsheet. Everything else gets easier. The second mistake is leaving data decision to your technologists. Look, for a developer, data is just rows and columns. To the business, it can be a VIP address, a personal note, a sensitive personal mobile number. These details do not live in database column names. Business owners must sign off definitions and mapping in the spreadsheet. To give an example, support once flagged the notes fields as sensitive. We added a rule to mask keywords medical and legal before loading. No drama later. And final mistake number 3, trying to move literally everything. Migrating all data is usually the most expensive trajectory. No organization needs or will pay for perfect data. Consider it like moving houses. You don't want to lose anything or break your favorite vase. But delivering every single item unbroken assumes extensive packaging, which is not practical. Data is similar. Business needs to decide what to leave behind. If a developer suggests archiving something, don't dismiss it outright. It could save you from skyrocketing cost and time, just like in packing. Now let's talk about the top tools for data migration. Everyone asks for the best migration tool. Like I said, 80% of success is mapping and design, so I always joke in response, it is Excel. This is your tool. And as I said before, if only you adopt one single tool, adopt the data mapping spreadsheet in Excel. That said, the best tool exists, and usually it's not the most powerful one, it is the one you know and can use fast. I know of a project which had 10,000 records to migrate, and it was slowed down by just literally by 7 tricky ones. Instead of fixing them manually, literally in a day, the provider brought in a premium tool and made it harder than it had to be. But as I said, there are great tools out there, and if you ask me for names for Dynamics 365 migration, so for cloud-based scenarios, I would definitely suggest Azure Data Factory. It's very capable, very powerful tool you can use. For mixed and on-premise scenarios, read up on Microsoft SQL Server Integration Services, or SSIS, and the third-party tool Kingsway Soft. So SSIS and Kingsway Soft, they've proven reliable for complex data migration. But remember, tools don't rescue a weak design. You can see on screen my data migration checklist. Feel free to share this with your friends and peers. Spread the data migration love. I've spent 20 years as a co-founder of a company working with Dynamics 365 and Power Platform. And because migration kept getting sidelined, I had to go deep and train my consultants and customer teams to do it right. My LinkedIn is always open for private messages. I frequently discuss Dynamics delivery issues and building new delivery teams. I encourage you to reach out on LinkedIn. Just search for my name, Vlad Sarov, and if you need more templates or information on all these topics, or just email me at vlad@dynamicalapps.com. If you want some guidance about best practices for other stages of implementation, check out the rest of the Mission Implementation playlist. Thank you for joining me for this episode of Mission Implementation, exploring how to achieve a successful data migration. See you around.